I'm doing this for the validation of other people, and I started to realize that, like, so fast forward, a little bit. I'm out of high school finally and everything, and this was the terrible time in my life where I was bouncing from home to home, homeless, living with girlfriends, all types of shit. But I ain't gonna get into all that. Um, I finally get settled and everything, and I finally start to realize, figure out that Christianity isn't for me. This is around the time where I started becoming spiritual, started learning certain things, started moving more into myself, moving more into my independent self and everything, independent thinking and all types of things. So that definitely influenced a lot as well. Still not dressing the way that I'm dressing now, but dressing the way that I kind of want to in a sense, but still trying to people please a certain way, because I'm still so focused on trying to get a woman, trying to have these type of women look at me and like me, trying to be around these type of niggas and shit. Like, it's just, as time passed, I started coming into myself. I started not hanging around people, started being a kind of a loner and everything. And my brother has always been the social motherfucker. He was always the one who would go out and get friends and be in groups and all that. I never was that way. And it's not that he was people pleasing, he just an extrovert. I was never an extrovert. I just wanted to be left alone. So once I got rid of those habits that I was having in high school of trying to people please and everything, I became a loner and all that, and started figuring out who I really am. Fast forward to, I want to say, the year before last, I'm getting into darker aspects, working with darker magic and things. By then, I'm already, far into this spiritual life or whatever. I call it spirituality, but it's just who I am. I'm farther into this. I've learned a lot and everything, learned certain aspects, gone through certain phases of self. So as I get to this point, I'm starting to express myself through my fashion, express myself and my magic and what I do through how I dress. And even then, that wasn't enough for me, because it still felt like I was trying to dress for a costume or a certain aesthetic to people please. So fast forward to, I want to say, beginning of last year. Like I said, I started getting into fashion and things. The beginning of last year, started realizing that that's what I want to do. Fashion. I love dark aesthetics. I love those darker worlds. I love dark movies and things. I love, just those, I call it the Addams Family effect type of lifestyle and, interest or whatever, because it just, not everybody is interested in that. A lot of people shun away from it. So, I started becoming alternative, started realizing what I truly like, started listening to artists that I truly want to listen to instead of listening to artists that everybody else listens to. I started getting into XXX Tentacion, which I was always into his music, but really started figuring out why it connected with me. Started getting into Uzi, of course. Started getting into Destroy Lonely. Started getting into Playboy Cardi. And this is around the time that, I'm discovering the whole vamp aesthetic or the opium aesthetic or whatever. And I'm figuring out, like, this is really who I am. It's like all this time it took to get to this point, these artists started expressing themselves in ways that I always wanted to express myself. So once I saw that really kick-started everything, where I'm dressing in the fashion that I've always wanted to dress in, dark aesthetic fashion, silver jewelry, and all of that. Like, I'm dressing the way that I want to dress. I'm getting tatted and everything. I started getting tatted on my face and all of that. Like this, I got XXX Tentacion's Tree, his Numb, the Broken Heart. Like, I really started getting into certain things and figuring out who I am and why certain things connect with me and the life that I want to live, and being a loner and why I'm a loner, and it's just all types of things. So I started becoming that goth alternative aesthetic fully, and that's what you see now today. Like, it came in the phases, and it took a lot of time, and it took a lot of figuring out who I was and what I wanted to do with my life, and shunning away from, you know, what everybody else wanted me to do. Like to this day, my grandparents don't like the way that I dress or look. I'm pretty sure they question it. They ain't gonna always say it out loud, but they, when it first started, I'm pretty sure they was thinking it was kind of crazy and everything. My mother, she's always accepted everything. She's a bit of a how can I put it? She's a bit of a free thinker. So she allows everybody to do what they want to do. She's a lover of Prince. She's a lover of Michael Jackson. You know, those type of aesthetics and things. So she kind of understood more than the average person and more than most of my family did. So it wasn't really nothing that I had to explain to her or whatever. She kind of always, in a sense, knew, I think. But you know, as I grow into this more, you'll start to see me come into more. It's gonna be more tattoos. It's gonna be more avant-garde clothing, more eccentric clothing, more, you know, dark aesthetics and things. Like I cannot wait to climb the ranks with this, with my life, and really build my life over again. Because that's exactly what I'm doing. Is just I'm just living how I feel like I should have been living as a child. My inner child is coming out, and this is what you see today. When you see the dark aesthetics, when you see the goth aesthetics and everything, when you see the, you know, the magical topics and things, and the things that I speak about and all of that, I'm just being myself as a kid. Like I'm just being a kid again. That's really all I'm doing. So I mean, my younger me probably would be right by my side of today right now. So it's a lot that I'm figuring out still. Like I said, I'm just now figuring out what I really wanted to do with my life. And for the longest, I didn't know. For the longest, there was no example. There was nothing being shown to me. So I had to figure this out, and I had to envision certain things. And it took me up until I was 29. From 15 years old to 22 years old, I was bouncing from home to home, homeless, doing dumb shit, you know, basically living a crazy ass life. And then, you know, I got back into my mother's home or whatever, and was there for 7, 8 years up until now. And then got my, at the time, girlfriend pregnant when I was working at a restaurant, moved to Louisiana, came back, and that's where I'm at now. I'm just building my life, not only for myself this time, but for my son. I don't want my son to ever go through what I went through as a child. I don't want my son to ever have to go through trying to figure out who he is and everything, which he's gonna have to do that, but I don't want it to be as difficult as it was for me. I want it to be in an environment where he can easily explore himself, where he doesn't have to worry about how this person feels or how this family member is going to look at him or how this individual is going to look at him. And I can teach him, not to give a fuck, and then two, to really just explore everything. That's what I've been doing up until now. And now, you know, I'm having to get my life together, get the basics together and everything. But I've made so many dumbass choices and things, but I've also learned who I really am, what I really want to do with this life and everything, and I wouldn't change anything. There's a lot of people that probably wouldn't fuck with me because of the position that I'm in. I really don't give a fuck because I'm a loner. I don't like being around none of you niggas anyway, men or women. I really don't. I did that last year for the first time. It was fun. It was cool. You know, I got my friend group and everything. It was cool to go out with them and have fun and travel and do certain things. But that was all it was an experience. I'm glad I got that experience in this life, because I probably won't be doing it anymore unless it's for modeling and things of that nature. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because I don't want to talk too long. I thank you for listening if you made it to the end of this video. And I hope you stay and just watch my journey as I grow into who I've always wanted to become and attain everything that I desire. I appreciate y'all.